This memory just popped up in my head, and I guess I wanted to share it with y'all because happy Sunday. I used to work at Pizza Bowlies back in my teenage years. It's my first job. It's my first job ever, and it was a good job. I feel like they underpaid me half of the times, but most of the time it was a good fucking job. Now, although I did get paid under the table, and I really wasn't really trying to get another job. Only reason I got that job was for a because I needed one to graduate senior class. Um. Anyway, I'm about to fall into another story. Anyway, I get into this. I'm there for like a year now. It's like after I graduate, and I'm the cashier. And we get different drivers like all the time, and then like I get cool with everybody. Everybody love me. People love me. There's this one dude that I guess his girlfriend used to work at that particular piece of bowling. It was before I worked there, and tried to get her boyfriend a job, and he ended up becoming a driver or some shit like that. Now I I go in there. It was like, can I help y'all? And she was like, oh no, I'm just trying to give a boyfriend a job. And I go, cool. I go back to minding my business and all that other stuff. Her boyfriend, now he's about at least 6 foot, 6'2", and he was a big dude. All right, and like look like a damn grizzly bear. I'm not even gonna hold you. Look like a grizzly bear. I hear this nigga. He go, can I ask you a question, my nigga? And I said, sure. Why the fuck are you staring at my girl? Be mindful. Only reason I looked at it because I was like, I have to, and it's just like I gotta be a courteous thing. But that nigga said, why the fuck are you looking at my girl? Now I looked at him and I laughed it off. He's like, I'm serious, my nigga. I looked at him and laughed it off. I looked at him again, and this nigga was dead ass serious. Now be mindful. I didn't even look at this girl. I didn't stare at this girl. Like, and no offense to Shorty, like Shorty wasn't even my type, so I wasn't even paying attention to her. But I mean, and before I said anything, his girl pulled him to the side or some shit like that. I guess the nigga's something mentally wrong with him, but some shit like that. Now in that mind, like I'm not gonna tell you I was scared. But I did was like, if this nigga swing at me, he's gonna knock me the fuck out. Like, it's like I wasn't ready to fight this nigga, but it was one of those things where if I had to fight this nigga, if I could go straight up, this nigga would knock me the fuck out. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. We never got into a fight, and I got off on a bad start with him. That nigga didn't even last an hour. Didn't even last a fucking hour at my job. Matter of fact, he was on a delivery, and I guess he had his orders. He went. None of the orders got to where the fuck it was at. Calling his phone, trying to call where he's at. Next thing you know, that I've only saw him one other time. Nigga was trying to make an excuse or something about my bosses being racist or some shit like that, which was a lie. Long story short, how do you like? It was like what? I was like, what do you do in that situation? And I want to know from other people, what do you do in that situation, especially when you're not even attracted to you. It was like obviously there was something mentally going on with that brother. It's like the more and more I think about it, the more to the story. But this nigga was really about to crash out on me before he even know me, and I wasn't even looking at this girl. I swear to you, I didn't look at her. I didn't stare at her. I can barely tell you what she looked like, except she was like a little bit thicker and dark skinned. But like I can't even. But like I recognize the dude more than I recognize this girl. I don't even know if they're still together or not. I don't even know what fucking happened, but it was just one of those things. It's just, what do you do when, like, niggas going, like, what do you do? Because I didn't want to be rude to the girl, and then I don't want to, bro, I'm not even, because I was like, I wasn't even looking at your girl. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I really had that look like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it was just like, I didn't want to be rude to Shorty because Shorty didn't deserve it either. It was just like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? But it's just like, I'm 18, 19, and it's just like, what the was I 18 going on 19? Because I joined yeah, I was probably like 18. I was 18 or 19 when this shit happened. But anyway, like, it's like one of those things like, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's just like, it's like, and how do you explain to somebody that, yo, I'm not even trying to look at your girl, like, and do that in a nice way? Because 20 year, let me say this, 18, 19-year-old me, I just said, bro, I'm not looking at your girl. It's like, I'm not even looking at you. I'm not even looking at your girl. The nigga, I was like 5'6" then. It was like, I'm 5'9" now, but it was like, I was 5'6" then. Nigga 6'2" was just like, what the fuck am I going to? And like, I really sized him up. It was like, if I had to fight this nigga, like, it's not good. I'm definitely, do not let this nigga grab me. That was like the only thing. It's like, I'm not even like a big time fighter like that, but it's just one of those days where I sized him up. It's like, I can't let this nigga grab me. It was like if I had a gun, I'd have shot the nigga. That's how. That's how. I was like, was I intimidated? Yeah, I was intimidated. I was. I don't want to say I was scared, but I was intimidated. But it was just like, I wasn't even looking at his girl. I was like, but I don't know I don't know what was wrong with fam, and it's just like, just. Because I've always thinking about this. I feel like I'm getting into that situation again where it's just like, if a nigga crash out over me, it's just like, and you're not attracted to his girl. It's like, what do you do in that situation? Because it's just like, dog, I don't even want your girl. I feel like, I feel like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just like, I feel like it's going to be one of my situations, or like, one of somebody's girls gonna be rude, and like I have to assert myself, and then next thing you know, it's just like, I'm gonna get my boyfriend to fuck you up. Next thing you know, he's some 6'2" grizzly bear that I might have. I was like, bro, you gotta, and then you gotta check your girl, and then you know how niggas crash out about their lady, and it was just like, I don't like, and I don't put my hands on women, all right. I don't disrespectful, but it's just like, you do, as a man, you do have to assert yourself, but it's just like, yo, calm, keep your girl in check, my nigga. It's just like, now, like I said, look, I understand, like, some battles you just can't win, and sometimes you gotta pick your battles. That's where, that's because that day I didn't learn when to pick my battles. It was like, I wasn't trying to be macho. I wasn't even trying to be macho. I was just like, but I also didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, well, if I have to go, this is going to be one of those things I have to go. But, one of my heroes is Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is 5'10". Considered the baddest man on the planet. Knocking niggas out 6 feet. Now, like, I say this all the time because, like, Mike Tyson, like, if Mike Tyson at 5'10", because Mike Tyson is about 5'10", maybe he's 5'9". So he my height, considered the baddest man on the planet, knocking niggas out who was 6 feet. Because he was knocking tall niggas out. I want people to understand, like, because I see this all the time when girls be like, I want a man over 6 feet. It was like, they all fall down the same. But, and, Mike Tyson's the only nigga I know where people look at him and it's just like, I might have to fight this nigga. You're scared to fight this nigga because Mike will knock a nigga out. Even right now, right now, niggas fear Mike Tyson. I tell people all the time, it's just like, it's like a lion. Yes, it's a tame lion. Yes, it could be a playful lion. And, like, he can, like, he'll fuck with you. He's probably friendly. He's probably a good lion and all that stuff. But he's still a fucking lion. do him wrong, and he's going to fuck you up. It's the same way I tell people. It's the same way to look at Mike Tyson, because people's just like, you think people it's not legitimate. I'm like, no, I think niggas legitimately fuck with Mike, but it's just like it's like a lion. It's like a lion in a cage. That's how I look at Mike Tyson. It's like a lion in a cage. All right, it might be fun, it might be friendly, it might be tamed enough for you to pet his hair or at least take a picture with him. But you still got to remember that that's still a fucking lion. He can still eat you alive. It's the same thing with Mike, because niggas is just like, yo, when Mike get angry, the room gets silent. But even then, I was like, Mike Tyson has fears. So even like he had fears of being knocked out, and that's considered the baddest man on the planet. But I feel like that's what drove him, especially in his prime. He was like, he didn't want to lose, but Mike Tyson is also a fucking machine. I can't go. I'm nowhere near what Mike Tyson can do. Even at his 60s, I'm nowhere near what Mike Tyson can do. But I know I always said this, yo, Mike Tyson. If Mike Tyson was knocking niggas out 5'9", 5'10", and knocking niggas out taller than him, then I was just like, shit. It's just like, you gotta know when to fucking hit niggas. Again, I'm nowhere near the stage of Mike Tyson, but it's like, it told me that, just to have no fear. The one thing about Mike Tyson, he told me not to have no fear. It's just like, you just gotta pick, but at the same time, I know I gotta choose my battles wisely. But what do you do when this is just like a dude wants to fight you over a girl you're not even attracted to? It's just like, and then it's just like, cause I feel like at one point you're like, bruh, I'm not even attracted. I don't even want your girl. And some girls be arrogant and thinking that niggas be wanting them, but it's just like, girl, I don't want you. It's like, I got a man. It's like, you trying to be nice, excuse me, I got a man. And I don't want you. It's like, I don't even want you like that. It's just like, I'm trying to get your attention. You drop something. And then, oh, because, women always think they want it. And then, ooh, ain't nothing more. And like I said, this is them shot to the girl that, because if anything, I feel like she saved my life. That nigga probably would have killed me. So this is no shade to Shorty. I just don't know what she looked like. And it was like, I wanted to talk to him and see, the whole time I really wanted to talk to him and see what was wrong with her, because the nigga was just nervous and he was sweating. And that's what I remember. He was nervous and he was sweating, and I feel like he needed a reason to crash out, and I feel like I was the reason to crash out on. And maybe I'm doing this from a philosophical level, or maybe he really thought I was looking at his girl, which I fucking wasn't. And it's just like, it bugged me. I think that bugs me today. And this is what I'm thinking of. And I don't know why that bugs me, because I didn't do nothing. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is getting in trouble or getting in an altercation for something that I have no control over. Maybe that's why I be crashing out on women and be like, oh my God, I can't get my real, like, this is an example, but, because I don't know if this really happened, but I'm pretty sure it happens in real life. But it's one of those things where it's just like, something happens to the woman, and women just be blaming black men for no reason. It's just like, what the or, we get into an argument, and, like, the whole thing is her fault, but she want to blame black men. Y'all seen them type of women. It's just like something bad happened to their life, and they want to blame either the patriarchy or blame black men. And it's just like, how do you do that? How do you dodge? And to me, it's amazing the mathematics that they go to. Not only dodge accountability, but the way they push the blame on men. You're sitting there like, wow. Like it's like your genius is at the wrong thing, Missy. And that's how I feel sometimes. It's just like, how do you come up with that? And it's just, to me, it's just like, it's amazing that you're that stupid. But it's just like, and I I don't want to say I crash out on girls that but I hate getting blamed for shit that has nothing to do with me. Like another example, this was in the Navy, and like we had a new HT3 that was going to be an HT2. It was like he already knew he was going to be an HT2. So motherfucker, first time I talked to him, and people was like, "Yo, how you feel about the new cat?" I said, "We gonna bump heads." He was like, "What?" I forgot who asked me this. He's like, "How you feel about the new cat?" I said, "We're gonna bump heads." He's like, "Word." It's like, damn, how the fuck you know? Just know that he and I are gonna bump heads one this time. Not even a week. Something happened to where it's just like I was doing one thing and I asked two of my female friends to go do another job that we was doing on there, and the motherfucker came at me sideways, and like there was points where like I know like there are people that are in charge of me, but I've also like it's happened like a couple times, but some people have seen it where I've yelled at my people that are bugged me and some shit like that, and like I cursed them the fuck out. I said, "What? So why the fuck are you coming in?" Because he was just like, "Oh, did you know that this happened over here?" No. Why the fuck are you coming at me about some shit that? And then I feel like he was trying to, nigga, fuck. I remember saying, "Nigga, fuck you." And I this wasn't even a week of knowing the brother. Like I fucking knew that I was like I was gonna bump heads with him. It was just like because he was a smart brother, but it's just me and him. We just had different ways of handling shit, and I was like I'm going to bump heads with this man, and it's just like maybe this is just power of the tongue. And most people believe in power of the tongue. It was just one of those things where it's just like, oh no, it's not an if, it was a when. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I don't hate the brother. Actually, I think he's pretty cool. But, throughout that time there, me and him done bumped heads on many occasions. One was just like, I didn't want to move. He was telling me to sit down. I was like, I'm good here. I don't want to move. And then the nigga got the fucking, he got the chief. And then this one, we had like a new chief. And he was like, he wasn't even an HT, he was an EM. Still the chief. And I was about to crash on the chief. Now, I don't. Now, this one was me. This was 100. I take 100% accountability. I don't know what the fuck I was on. I don't know what the fuck. I was just tired of that boat. I think I was tired of that boat. And it was around that time where it was like my time was up and I was about to leave and some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck happened, but all I know is I was tired of that boat. And I ended up crashing on that one dude. Because I was like, I'm good right here. I was like, what the fuck you need me over there for? I can hear you from over here. You're fucking loud. And then like the nigga just, I don't know why. I think he just wanted to throw his, this is the time he became second now. Now, I don't know, he wanted to throw his rank around. Nigga threw his rank around. I was like, nigga, I'm over here. It's like, just say what the fuck you gotta say and just move on. He ended up getting the chief. And then, I don't know, I felt like the chief said something, and I think I took it as a threat. And not only did I like bucked up to him, I was like, what you want to do? Because we can get into it. And everybody looked at me. The chief had to fucking he made everybody step out. To this day, I don't know why I bucked up like that. Like, I could have fucked up. Like, I could have fucked up all my credit. Like, that nigga, if he'd have took me to mass, he had a whole fucking reason to. Luckily, he didn't. And luckily, engineers, we, like, talk it out. But, and, like, even then, we looked at each other, we talked to one-on-one. I didn't crash out on him, but I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me and some shit like that. And it was just, like, and because I crashed out on, I don't want to say I crashed out on him, but I got tired of, I will say this, he kind of caught this right now. Because there was times where the chiefs over, a couple of chiefs, they promised to do something, and they never fall through on their promises. And so the next time when the chief was like, "I promise something," I was like, I literally said, "I said, all right." He didn't like that. And he was like, "What did you say?" I said, "All right." I said, "I don't believe y'all," but again, like I don't know. I don't know why I was an angry third class, but I understand why people don't stay at spots that long because you're going to crash out on somebody. Now, the day, now especially in the military, you're going to crash out on somebody. And sometimes you just get sick of shit. Now, me, I just got at that time. I got sick of. I felt used, especially since I didn't mind doing jobs. I didn't mind doing jobs, and I didn't mind doing things for somebody. But and then like I've I was doing and like I felt like at times I was being used, but when like but the way they was using me, it was just like I'm I'm gonna give you this or we're gonna do this, and then it never fucking got it. They never put their end of the bargain over there, so they just used. And one of my chiefs was notorious for doing this, and it's because he wanted to become Master Chief, the youngest Master Chief ever in that raid. One of the things was okay, and I don't know if I told this story before. We was supposed to. It was like we was switching on PRVs, pressure reducing valves, and it was supposed to be a week job. It was a job supposed to be done in a week. Yada yada yada. I was like, you know, we get this shit done in like maybe 1 or 2 days, and that was my attitude. It was like, yo, let's just get this shit done in 1 or 2 days. And I was like, yo, if we get this shit done, and because we was knocking them out, replacing PRVs is not hard. We had a bunch of newer PRVs, and it was not that hard. All you had to do was just make sure everything was just in place to um, um, check your P's and Q's and then do it. So I was like, yo, let's just get this shit done now. Let's just get as much done as we can so we can get. Now, someone was like, "Yo, if you do this, can we get the rest of the day off?" I was like, I can literally knock these out if the team effort." And I was rooting for, and I was kind of like pushing this. We can knock all this shit out and get rid of this. And then it was like, "Yo, we do this. Can we get the rest of the day off?" Because I wanted to get the people off the rest of the day off. And we was busting our ass on that boat for like no fucking reason half of the time. And like, I was like, yeah. And they was like, yeah, if you do this, you can get your days off or some shit like that. So I said, are you sure? And it was like, yes. So I was motivated. I was the biggest motivator. And let's just say what could have been done in 2 weeks, we got it done that day. We got it done that day. Matter of fact, we got it done before, if I'm correct, we got it done either before lunch or it's like it was a little bit after lunch and we still had 3 more hours left of work. And I was like, yo, and I remember we just knocked all of them out. Just bam, bam, bam. Everything was tagged out. Everything was just in motion. And like there was no water running through that ship, so everything was just easy. We was just putting shit through. Everything was working properly. So it's just like, yes, we get it all done. Everything looked spectacular. It wasn't even like we was half-assing it. We was doing it, and then everything looked perfect. So by the time we filled up our end of the bargain, we was like, oh, so can we go home now? We was like, hold on, we're gonna see if Chief's trying to get y'all to do something else. He fucking didn't have nothing for us that rest of the day, and we ended up just staying there for the rest of the day. Now I understand going home is a privilege, but at the same time, you promised us, and I was fucking heated. I was heated personally because I'm like I didn't need to. It's like you don't have to put that effort to me, and I'm speaking for myself, not for the other people. Because I feel bad because I done pushed these other people so we could do this shit so they could get off. To me, I was just like, I never needed that motivation. I'm the lowest rate here. You ask me to go do something, I'm gonna go do it, and I never complained. But I was just like, the fact that you felt like I needed that extra push to get in the days off just to get it done, I felt insulted. So the next time, it's a different second class. I'm not gonna say his name, but he looked like Barney Rubble. So I'm gonna just call him Barney Rubble. He know who the fuck he know who the fuck he is. If you ever listen to this, he know who the fuck he is. But he looked like Barney Rubble. He was like, could me and another brother, he looked like Jerry Seinfeld. He and rest in peace to my man. Um, Rest in peace to him. I still don't know. I still don't know how he died, but I just found out he passed away. So rest in peace to him. But me and him, we was told to do a job. So I was like, all right, I go let him do the job. So me and him, we getting the tools and all that other stuff, and we discussing how we going to get this job done and all that other stuff. And Barney Rubble, he was just like, y'all gonna fucking do. He was just like, y'all gonna get the job. Y'all not gonna be going home. And I literally, and this is me. And like I said, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I never needed it. I said I never need that motivation to do the job. You know that. Don't do that. Don't come at me like that. And it was just like I was so like I wasn't even thinking, and I didn't even want to come at. I felt bad going at him like that, but it was just like I never needed that. I never needed that push to do stuff. If you ask me to do stuff, I'm doing it. And then it was just like you're not gonna. I'm sorry. I'm not. You're not gonna take us home anyway. You're just gonna use us because I that shipyard era was not good for a lot of people, especially me. But it was just like you're not gonna make us. You're not gonna send us home early. So I don't know why you keep pushing that. And he just went quiet and then went back in his office. And there was another white boy. He was from Detroit, and he was just like he looked at me. I don't know why he pushing him. He was like, and I know I was looking at him. I was just like, bruh, I don't need that motivation. But it's just like, but I know they're not gonna tell you. How you gonna promise us to tell us to go home when every time we do stuff and we that should you be like, okay, they did their deeds and go home. They never make us go home early. It's like, how many times you gonna promise us we're gonna go get off early and never deliver on your promise? That's what I was mad at. And then, but also that I didn't need that motivation. I was like, half of the people, it's just like, I'm like, I'm gonna get the job done. So let me just go ahead and do my job and then just be about my business. He was just, and I remember him saying like, yo, it's like, you're gonna end up being with a boss that you're not gonna like. And I remember him saying that. And he was right because we got this tall, lanky motherfucker that no one liked after that. Like, no one liked him. But we had to deal with him either. And I remember bitching at another first class about that. I was like, why are we putting him here? At this time, it was just like I didn't have rank, but I had at least seniority enough to where people would sit there and talk to me. It's just like I'm expecting ranks and all that other stuff, but why is he here? It's just like, and then that's another story that I get to. I ain't never met a man that could kill a morale very fucking quickly, like very fucking. I never met a worker that it was like when you go in, no one liked, and no one. The fact that when he was leaving, it was like the best day ever. Well, one of the best days ever. And then like, this is the last story. It was like the new chief that I crashed out on. This was the first. He was just like, okay, because I guess they was giving him cards, and I didn't sign the card at first. I didn't want to sign the card at first. And it was just like, who? And then he was like, who didn't sign the card? And I raised my hand. It was like, I should have lied and raised my hand, but it was like, go sign the card. Now, I didn't want to go to mass over not signing some about a man that I don't fucking like, and it was adamant that I didn't like him. And nor did I care that he didn't like me. So I was just like, all right, I go sign the card. And I remember this. I wrote bye, HT3 Jameson. I just wrote bye, and then it was just like, I get called back. Can you please write something else? I didn't want to write it in the first place. It was like, what do you want me to write? And I don't know what I was. I feel like I wrote goodbye, but it was something along the lines of bye. And it was funny because like one of the other, he was a third class that kind of like moved up to a second class. I think he's a recruiter now. He was like, "Yo, you're funny." It was like everybody was reading this. It was like yours was the funniest. It's like, why was mine the ones that pop out the most? It was like, cause it's just bye. It was just like, get the fuck. It's like you might as well just wrote get the fuck out. I was like, if I could, I would, but I wasn't trying to be. I didn't want to write it in the first place. Which was kind of like it was, to me it was sad because it was just like he was hated so much that I don't. It was like because I remember it was like, yo, you want to write something for Patty? I said fuck no, and everybody laughed and I just went up my way. It's just like I remember adamantly saying fuck no and then walking off. It was like, because it was like, you want to write something for somebody, you at least appreciate it. I didn't like, let me tell you something, and I didn't like him, I didn't respect him. There was times where I was like in my own division, and like, because I was the only one DCPO qualified, so I had my own division with someone that was with a second class that was like my best friend, and so it was just me and him um, taking over, and I didn't have to. It was like I didn't have to show up in that pipe shop. The one time it was just like I was doing maintenance. It was just like, what are you doing here in my shop? I was like, I was doing maintenance, and then next thing you know, I never walked in that shop until they put me back into the pipe shop. When I tell you, I was in every other shop besides that, which it was good for me because it was just like I didn't really get to be in other people's shop, but I was there for a reason. So it was just like anytime someone needed help, I go help them out and all that other stuff. It was like I felt sorry for some of the people in the pipe shop because they was cool, but I was like, is that if that man is in there, I'm not walking in there. So it was one of those, he'd kiss my ass. But then it was just like, oh, they're putting Jameson, which is me, they putting me back into the pipe shop. I'm like, I'm the only one DCPO qualified. So at this point, it was just like, why? Because it was just like, it seems like he wasn't doing my job in the DCPO. When I was doing the DCPO, it was just to do maintenance. It was literally, my job was doing maintenance and make sure stuff was clean for presentation. And I did that. That's all my job was. So so I would go around, make sure maintenance was set. I would make sure everything was good for maintenance. So whatever room we had, I make sure everything was up to date. And I did that. On Thursday, it was inspection day. And I was to make sure I was ready for inspection day. And Friday, I didn't do. There was nothing for me to do. There was literally nothing for me to do. So I showed my face whenever it was, and I disappeared. I didn't really disappear. My office was in like the bottom of the fucking ship. So I just stayed there and studied for an ESWAS that I never got, that I never wanted. But I was trying to, but every time I fucking picked that book up, I went to fucking sleep. I'm not even going to hold you on that one. So it was just, it was to a point where we went underway and motherfuckers was not seeing me because I was not showing my face. It was just like, nah, and it got to a point where it was just like, they said, you know, you got to show your face. I was like, I didn't argue. I was just like, okay. So I show my face. And anytime when like shit for the shop, because we had two shops, we had a pipe shop and then shit for the shop. So anytime when the shit for the shop asked me to do something for them, I go do stuff for them. But I didn't even like skate, which is like I didn't even go fuck off anywhere. I went to where it's just like this is my office, this is where I'm gonna be at. So that was it. So it was just like oh, so we're gonna put him back in the pipe shop. It was like okay. It was like so. I guess this is another just random rants. So I guess I'm just gonna call this another rant, another random rants. If you listen through all this, God bless you. I appreciate you. If you like these, let me know. I guess, I guess, till then, my name is Eskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.